Southern Coalition for Social Justice received a grant from the Triangle Community Foundation in June of 2009 to create a system with community-based organizations in the immigrant community to document abuses occurring under the 287G and Secure Communities programs. There's an organization nationally called the National Network for Immigrant and Refugee Rights that has worked with organizations to help them adopt community-based human rights strategies in recording abuses that occur against immigrants. This program is known as Hurricane. Throughout the course of the grant, SCSJ's original goal changed a little bit. Through our conversations with the National Network, we learned that a critical piece of change is collecting data, but also teaching communities how they can use their own power to use that data to fight for the changes that communities themselves want.
But we think with the Hurricane tool, the idea is that community members are participating in each level. So that the story collection or the data entry or the analysis or the gathering, that there's community members involved in this process and that they get to see the patterns, that they get to analyze, that they get to choose to act.
We designed a training that invited community groups as well as researchers and lawyers to come together to learn more about human rights, analyze and understand that things that are occurring are not merely an instance of foul play, but are actually systematic human rights abuses that are occurring.
We have close-ended questions because we want some data, we want some numbers, we want to know how many children are being affected, we want to know where the abuses are happening, and then we have some open-ended questions because we want the story, we want to have the qualitative data and the quotes for people to be able to tell their story. And if we use them, sometimes it's more powerful to have first-person relatos.
We learned that these abuses are not only occurring in the Latino immigrant community, but are also occurring against African immigrants.
How can you convince those who are legal or citizens experiencing the same thing compared to those who don't have it to make the elected official to hold them accountable to do something about the law? I believe that's what we are come together to do, right?
Against Arab and Muslim immigrants.
We came to see is that documenting is witnessing, and witnessing is the ultimate tool to connect. And so all you really need, if you have the storytellers, is you need people to listen.
And so we had to bring a multi-ethnic approach to our workshop, and it's something that we're very proud of, that our training represented the true diversity in North Carolina of our immigrant community.
We came to the conclusion one of the most powerful teaching tool, and it teaches people to relate to problems that they never have to feel themselves.
We also went over how to use the program called MARTIS.
It's an international human rights database, and it's used in many different countries to collect stories of human rights abuses. It's very secure, and then we take this and we enter it into the database.
Immigrant communities are now trained to know how to enter this data in order for it to be shared and seen, to look at all of the similarities that are happening across our state, and then decide when they see these similarities, so what do we do? Not only are we going to collect data and fight against these policies, but also we're going to look at ways that we can build a stronger immigrants' rights movement in the state. We're planning to have a storytelling night in order for immigrants to be able to come together and see the ways in which their stories are connected. Our project was a large accomplishment. Not only is it a way in which communities are able to come together to address the abuses, but diverse communities have come together. Ultimately, organizations in the Triangle will be able to do much more effective work by being able to learn from the experiences of their allies, all places where there's 287G or secure communities agreements. We also would like to thank the Triangle Community Foundation for providing funding for us to be able to do this project.